Hello, everybody. I'm James, and this is the Work Hard People's Podcast. Very excited about today. We have the beautiful Excuse me, I am like talking terrible today. You guys are going to have to forgive me. We have the beautiful Jordyn Cassandra on. How are you today?
Fantastic. Happy to
That's
be here.
awesome. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for coming. She's coming to us all the way from British Columbia, Canada. And then we have Matt freaking Deakins, powerlifter extraordinaire, as I like to call him. He won't own the label, but I'm trying to get him there. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's good. Well, hey, everybody, today I'm very excited about today. And I think that uh, really, we were talking about this pre show. I really think this is going to be the Jordan show because she is very focused in this area. A lot of what she does is around helping people mentally prepare. And at first, it may not sound that that's what we're talking about, but it really is because what people don't realize is that sometimes you'll internalize things and you will push them onto others to bring them down to build you up. And that's not what you want to be doing. But really, the whole goal of today's show is really just stay in your lane, people. Really. Let's stay in our lane. Don't put people down. Don't criticize people. Let's build them up. Recognize that your discipline may not be their discipline. Okay. Just because you're into bodybuilding doesn't mean that a strong man or a strong woman or a power lifter is doing it wrong. Just because you squat one way doesn't mean somebody else is squatting wrong. What the key here is, and I tell my clients this when I coach my clients, the most important thing, they're like, well, I'm not feeling it. Okay, great. Then that is not the proper angle for you. We need to find the angle where you're engaging the muscles that we're trying to train. And that is the same with every single one of us. And Matt can talk a little bit about this. Before we kick it to you, Jordan, I want to kick it to Matt about this. When you're squatting, there is something, it's very, very prominent in the powerlifting world about getting in the proper squat position. And it has everything to do with femur length and how your joints, how your hip joint locks in. Because if you have too narrow of a stance and you have long femurs, your femurs are going to get caught and you're not going to be able to get down. So you got to find the right stance for you, correct?
Absolutely. You got to find, you said it perfectly. Find the right stance for you. Everybody's going to be different. And just because my right foot is flared a little bit doesn't mean it's wrong. That's just how my right leg has to work in order for it to happen. Similarly, you can even say on a deadlift. I've actually seen people where, they'll line up for a deadlift and their right is they're deadlifting like this because their hand as it comes up hits their knee on this. They have to flare their foot this way to evade their knee on the deadlift. Now, is that wrong? No, they're doing what they have to do to complete the lift because that's the sport they're lifting in. But that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong because some bodybuilder saw it somewhere in some magazine or on some Instagram clip by any means. So,
Absolutely. I like to say to a lot of my clients, I tell them, I said, genetically, we're all very, very super similar. Anatomically, we're all very, very different. There is a different, everything. I mean, there are certain exercises that I do myself where I've seen other people doing them. Like, I don't even feel that. I don't feel that in my chest. Like, if I do dumbbell incline presses, I can't do it at the normal level that you would do on a dumbbell incline bench press with a barbell. It doesn't, I have to go a little bit lower. I can't, for whatever reason, engage my upper pecs when I do that. So I've found what works for me. And when we're out there doing this, that's the whole point of staying in your lane. Don't focus so much on what somebody else is doing. Try to work on yourself and build them up. Jordan, this is what you do. You're making a career out of helping people understand their mind and how it is sabotaging them. So, if you could enlighten us a little bit about just some of the stuff that you've been dealing with. I know you've dealt with many things in your life as well, where you've developed these mental strengths to overcome these things. And when we're out there putting other people down, we're not doing, we think we're doing ourselves justice and making ourselves proud, but that's not what we're doing. What's that all about?
Well, more often than not, I find it's overcompensating, right? Like if you feel like you are drawn to knocking people down. Like you said, it is an effort to bring them down so that you can feel higher, so you can feel better about yourself. More often than not, we get this idea, this it's like the mind, the ego tricks us into thinking that we're being helpful. It's like that martyrism, like let me go out of my way to point out and criticize all of these things to be helpful, but you're only being truly helpful if the person can receive what you're saying in a way that is helpful. So if you're
Yeah.
not saying it in a way that is, if you're saying it too blunt or you're saying it too harsh, and some people really respond well to criticism when it's solicited, when you're being asked, when you, like for me, if I just did a video sales letter video recording where I edited it all myself, and I sent it to my partner Jeff, and I said, can you just tell me what you would criticize, please, so that I
Yeah.
can be better. I want to be better. But if I had sent it and I was like, look how good this is, I'm so excited about it, and he was like instantly like, well, this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, you best believe I'm going to be like
Yeah.
deflated, right? But that's the mind almost tricking you. Like you have to be so mindful all the time. And the problem is that if you're not mindful, your mind will trick you into bringing others down in that light of trying to be helpful. Like most people aren't conscious of their belittling ways. Like they're not doing it to hurt you per se. In their mind, they feel justified in what they said. In their mind, they feel like they're pointing out the thing that might help you maybe, or they're bitter inside, so that's the natural thing that comes out. But they're not, most people aren't maliciously trying to bring others down, I don't think. But that's how it's received. Just like if we're getting shitty comments on our social media posts or on our form or on, it all depends on how you're ready to receive it. So it's also not just dependent, the staying in your lane part is not just reliant on the people keeping their mouths shut and minding their own business, but also on the receiver of criticism. Because
Yeah.
if you're finding that you're triggered by somebody pointing out something that you're doing incorrectly, then you need to go in and check your intention. Like, do I know that I'm doing this right for me? Because if I really do, then it's water off my back, right? Like, it doesn't bother me at all to hear what somebody says that's criticism if I'm not insecure about it. So, if you think about life from that perspective of like always using life to show you the things that are keeping you prisoned inside, maybe that person is commenting or saying that harsh, ruthless thing to you to show you inside how you have an opportunity to stand in your empowered state or to be triggered and respond back in that same toxicity, right?
Yeah, no, that I think that is very good. And the other side of that too, like you're talking about, I think is that, we often talk about hurt people,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
I try to, when people come at me, I always try to look at it from a perspective of what have they walked through in their shoes? Why are they coming at me like this? Why are they coming so hard? What's going on there, right? Because that can help me better understand maybe the reason they're doing it or not. Because for me, I have a very, if you spend any time on social media, you're going to see people making huge mistakes in the gym, doing things incorrectly, talking about like extreme amounts of gear that they're taking. And, I am in the bodybuilding circles. I train athletes for the stage. I do these things. I understand gear cycles. You'll see all this stuff, right? Do you need to blast them out in their open forum for everybody to read? Absolutely not. That is for you, not them. Now,
Exactly.
do you slide into their DMs? And maybe that's how I do it. I'll slide in and say, I don't ever even say they're doing something wrong. I will usually send them a video of something that I have tried or something and just say, hey, I love what you're doing here. I've tried it this way and I'm really able to engage or something like that to get them to, they're like, okay, he's not saying I'm doing it wrong. He's just saying, hey, look at this. This is another way that I could try this exercise and see if it works for me. right?
Mm.
And I don't knock anybody. I don't care. Like, I got a buddy, he's not in great shape. He's one of my best friends. I love him to death. Talk to him constantly, like, bro, we got to fix this, man. You do not need to be like this. We can fix this, but it doesn't matter. I still love him. I still support him. I'm going to lift him up, strengthen him, right? I'm not perfect. My wife will tell you I am not perfect. I make mistakes, and I'm grateful that she has the ability to call me out on that. The only problem is that sometimes she waits until she like calls me out on 50 things. Like, wait, let's take these one at a time, please, and I will try to fix them. I promise. But no, it's important. We don't need to be out there talking smack to people online. There's no need for it. There really is no need for it. Matt, I want you to tell the story about that because we need to get into that.
Mhm.
Different disciplines have different needs of body shape, size, strength, all of those things. Depending on what your goals are, the areas that you're competing in, things that you're focusing on. We were talking before the show. I've never seen a 130-pound strongman.
Right.
Never seen one win the world's strongest man. They're
Yeah.
all 350 plus, some of them 450 plus. Brian Shaw is 6 foot, what, 480 pounds when he won
Mm.
the world's strong 450 pounds when he won the world's strongest man. There's a reason they're carrying that weight, for crying out loud. There's a reason for it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest I think mistake that some people make is there's people like myself who are strength athletes. There's no such thing as um, aesthetics in strongman. There's no award given in a strongman meet or in a powerlifting meet that says he had the lowest body fat and completed the meet, or um, his V taper from his shoulders to his waist was the best, so therefore we're going to give him a plaque. No, there's none of that. It's all, based on your categories, your weight categories, and how much you lift and what you're lifting. So when you have people projecting their ideas of being a bodybuilder, being a physique athlete, being an insert whatever here, that's not a strength athlete on the physique of a strength athlete, that is kind of comes, gets received very poorly from the strength athletes, because you're sitting here saying, well, thank you for telling me that I'm overweight and have a hard time breathing, as if I don't live in that every day
Yeah.
and, understand that that's a problem and something I'm working on, just because you aren't seeing that in one post. And I think it gets poorly received, especially from the person talking, um, when they know it's a problem or it's something they need to work on, but that's not the intention of the post or intention of the proposed conversation. And that's it's also when I give, I'll use myself when I make comments on different posts or engage with people who I know aren't strength athletes. I actually ask questions in publicly saying, ooh, why do you do that way? Is there a reason for it? Is that just how it works for you? Is there a distinct muscle activation advantage? Try to get the conversation other than going, well, that's stupid. Why did you do that? That's not the way you do it. That's not how you should do it. You're not bracing. You're not, finding everything wrong with it. Try to engage the conversation and turn it to a let's both learn through each other situation. Because I know that, people at the gym, sometimes you have two different camps. You got the ones that are trying to tell you you suck by telling you you suck, and there's some that try to tell you you suck by telling you next time try it this way. Now, which one's going to be received better?
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's a
Exactly.
time and place for all of it. And some of it can be if you're down to garner laughter, which happens every time that those said some individuals in my gym who come out and say, you just absolutely suck today. What's the deal? And there's others say, you're not doing this like you used to. Or next time you bench, try to engage this or take this cue. Telling you suck by getting you to think and learn, as opposed to telling you suck by you just suck today.
Yeah. And there's those days too, right? But ultimately, so one of the things that I pride myself on is I have an ability to look within myself and recognize my deficiencies. I know where I'm weak. I know where I struggle. And one of the things that I work on a daily basis is personal development. I do not mind people calling me out on my bullshit, right? When I do something wrong, you call me out, I'm going to process it. I'm going to address the situation. I'm going to apologize if I've offended you in some way by something that I've done. I am always trying to get better. And I think we have a lack of that in the world today. I think people are so comfortable with the status quo. And I always say there is no status quo. You're either growing or shrinking, and that is physically and mentally. There is no even kill. You need to be constantly working on yourself. It's one of the things that I gain lots of knowledge. I look at Jordyn's posts on a daily basis, right? So she has a company, Make Moves and Motivations. She does personal coaching. She is very giving of her time on social media. She posts every day. She does free online like live videos where she engages with the people that are part of her company and just anybody that comes across her site, where she is striving to help them work on personal development and build their mind. I learn things from her all the time. I learn from her story. Her story is a great story. And as people, I would encourage everybody to go and check out the things that Jordyn's doing. And I will make sure and put it in the link, and I'll even put a little thing across here when we're talking about it, so you can get to her Facebook page and her website, because she does a great job. That's why I love having her on. She's intelligent. She understands how the mind works and how it can trick us and really destroy us if we allow it. Yes?
Absolutely. And you had said about, people are comfortable doing the status quo when you're talking about personal development, but it's comfortable is such an interesting word because I don't think anybody's comfortable being miserable. Um, but they don't know how to change it, or they don't want to change it, or there's some sort of like value attached to that misery. You know what I mean? Like I mean, we can go into identity and projection and all of those
Hey,
parts
Jordyn, real
that
quick, do you think it could be fear? The fear of having to put in the work on yourself? It sucks to look in the mirror sometimes, man. It does.
I think the fear is that you're going to put in the work and still suck. I think that's the fear. I think the fear is that you're going to go and you're going to do all this effort and you're going to change and you're still going to hate yourself. And I think that that is the problem because there's so many quick fixes and things that people have been selling for years to like help you. And it's not even just the quick fixes, but it's also like societally we're taught if we get the fit body and if we get the car and the wife and the house and the kids and the life and the vacations and all those things that your happiness is going to be in that, and then you find out you're still miserable. Like life in itself is the quick fix that's fucking tricking us into thinking that we are supposed to be, that that's going to be enough for us. But so I think that people are so tired of trying things and finding out that they still either suck in their own mind, their self-concept is still on the low bar. And I think that the people that are calling people out in malicious type ways, like trying to hurt other people, are the people that have gone and done all of this effort to better themselves, and they've grabbed onto these things that have helped them and made it work for them, but then they still feel miserable inside. So where do they put that misery? They put it on you. They put it on you to show you how superior they are because they know better, because they did this thing and it worked for them, but it didn't actually work for them because they still hate themselves and their life. So I don't know that it's like, I mean, there could be a fear of putting in the work. Yes, but I think it's more of a fear of putting in the work and it not working.
Yeah.
I think what you said there, that is very sage advice. Uh, that is just something that I think we don't grasp. And what one of the things you point out, we're not talking about the people that are genuinely out there reaching out to others trying to help them. We are specifically talking about the people that are specifically reaching out to put somebody down, to hurt them in a way to make themselves feel better. If you have a desire to do that, you really need to look in the mirror and look within, because there is something broken. And when something's broken inside, it is so hard to fix. It is hard. It takes hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, research, understanding, willing to admit that you're wrong. And we don't like to do that, right? As human beings, we do not like to go, oh, yeah, it was my fault. I messed it up. We don't like to own it. And I'm a guy that says, listen, if I don't care if you're my best friend, you're my worst enemy. I don't care. If you screw up and you come to me and you say, hey, man, I messed up. I apologize. Right? You own what you've done. I'm going to forgive you. I'm a forgiving guy. I've had some people do some terrible things. I mean, you both know I've been shot. I I forgave the guy who shot me. I went to battle for the guy at court to make sure he didn't get as bad a punishment as he could have gotten simply because he owned his shit,
Yeah,
right? He apologized.
for me, with the minute you own something that you made a mistake, since so many people are afraid to own their own shit, you automatically gain respect from me because you are saying, you know what, I was wrong, or you know what, I made the mistake. Even if it's something as basic at work as something as, yes, I made that order entry error. Yes, I told somebody the wrong thing. Yes, I forgot to send an email. Okay, thank you. Now you know, and now you know not to do these again. Thing, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, it could come to, yeah, I know I didn't put the weights away in the gym and someone else had to do it. I'll own that. Now, how can I make it up? Well, don't make the mistake again. Okay, sweet. Now I at least know.
I hate that too, man. I absolutely hate that. There's no reason not to put your stuff up. Pro bodybuilders in the gym, you watch them, they put their weights up. Put them up. You don't
So,
know if some 80-year-old lady's coming behind you. She ain't going to be able to rip 325 off a bar. Come on.
so funny story is I was today doing my squat and I was on a time crunch and they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll get it. We'll get it. And I'm like, no, like, I don't think you understand that I cannot leave, even though it's only like 4 plates left. I can't leave that there.
Yeah,
I know you said you got it, but I can't just let that. I have to leave with knowing that's empty.
absolutely. Hey, Jordyn, I want to talk to you real fast. You pointed out something earlier that I really like. So, everybody talks about when you were talking about some people can embrace like that in your face kind of bam, hey, you messed up and here's how. So for my own self, like in my 9 to 5 job, right? So I'm in the financial world and we do coaching often with our supervisors, right? So uh and I love my supervisor. She is in your face when it comes to coaching and compliance and making sure, like, and I love it. I embrace it, right? But it goes back to we've all heard the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. I like to use the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated, right? Not you. You may not want to be treated like I did. You may not want it in their face. And what does that require? That requires some investment. It requires you talking to somebody and engaging with them and saying, hey, listen, I appreciate you. I'd like to help you. How do you ask some questions, learn from them, see what they're like. How are they going to appreciate it? What do you think about that, Jordyn?
Absolutely. I think that's important for every kind of relationship, being like romantic relationships, familial relationships, or coaching relationships. Like, obviously, the cool thing about coaching, at least the way that I market and do it, is that I attract clients that are attracted to what I bring. So obviously my messaging, but also my demeanor. Like, I am pretty calm. Most people
Very.
would say, I'm calm all the time. I'm kind of like in this, like, I'm not ever pushy. I'm not, but I'll call you out in a very loving, gentle way so that you can see through the muck without being triggered. That's how I interact with people. And I seem to attract clients who really click with that. And it just works that way. So it's the communication part that you're talking about is all about love languages, really, because that's what we are doing with
Yeah.
everybody that we interact with. It's paying attention to how they respond. What is their body language like when you are in their face? Does that work for them, or do they kind of cower away, or do they come back at you? Like, paying attention, being mindful all the time. But the problem is that we're often, so often in our own head. And that's where this presence piece comes in always, is that we're so often in our own head that we're not even paying attention to how we're being received because we're overthinking it instead of actually noticing, and
Yeah.
there's like this human component that we skip over in this life and where we are right now societally. We've completely like overlooked it because we either are in our phones and nodding at the people around us and totally negating the entire human connection, or we are distracted by our own thoughts and we're zoning out while people are talking to us, and we're like it's
Not
that
engaged.
component is necessary. Yeah, and that's why we are so depressed. you know
Yes.
Accounted for but not present.
A hundred
yes.
percent. 100%. I love that so much. I'm telling you right now, the engagement, just engaging with other human beings. I, we are so, I fear. It is fear. We are so afraid of what other people are going to think about us.
Mhm.
And when we can get to a place that, like me, I do not give a shit. You're either going to love me or you're going to hate me. But know this, I'm always going to love you. I love everybody. Right? I mean, I'm a grandpa for crying out loud. I got 4 grandkids. I love everybody. Right? I do. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you're into. I don't care if your beliefs line up with mine, whether it be politically, any of that. I don't care. The only thing I care about is that you are a decent human being with good character. That's it.
But
You know?
your worth comes from here. It doesn't come
Yes.
from what you do. It doesn't come from anything to do with like how you lift or how you teach people, or your worth is unconditional. You know your worth. The reason the people that are attacking other people is because their worth is conditional. It's based on they've built their worth out of their expertise, their business, their coaching ability, their knowledge, their all of these things. And now their worth is conditional. And if anything gets in the way of that, they're going to attack you because they feel like their worth is personally attacked just by challenging them, right? So if we the key is your your worth being unconditional and your desire to be better is how we heal this stay in your lane issue. Because if your worth was unconditional, people could say anything about what you wear, about what you do, about how you do it, and you'd be like, sorry, bro, I'll fix that.
Yeah.
But I'm
No.
still right.
No, yeah. No, I love that. That's it. I bless you. That is it. I think that it's that fear though. They have that fear like they're like if you're doing something that's different from them, you're going to take away maybe a client or this or that or like you say their worth. That is a great way to put it. I love that. But I wish that sometimes I wish I could just transplant my brain into some people and just say, "Listen, people out there love you. There's going to be idiots and pricks and people that put you down and hate you. And you know what? Don't worry about it. You have self worth. You are a human being on this planet. I've said this before on the show many times. I'm a Christian. You are a child of God. There is somebody that always loves you. Your Father in heaven loves you. And if you think he doesn't, you find me, I'll love you. I got no problem with that. I want to see people do great things. I
But
don't
that
care if
was
people make more
what I was
money than me.
next. That's
Huh?
exactly what I was going to bring up next, is that you have God. And that's how you know your worth is imminent, because you are cared for and you are loved and you are held, and that your will is one with the Father's. You are cherished. No matter what anybody on this planet fucking thinks of you, you have that. You rest in that. So
Yeah.
because of that, that's what the world is missing. God is what the world is missing. We've forgotten about how held we are, how completely engulfed in love and forgiveness and perfection and grace we are, because we are an extension of that. So being an extension of that is what gives us the ability to be in the world but not of it. To to
Correct.
be to be part of the world, to interact with the world, but not be um characterized by what the world says you are, right? You live from love. You have love beaming out of you like a Care Bear does when they have their
No,
power coming out.
I do. I love it. Jordyn, you know what? You'll appreciate this too because you have like even in the nutrition world, um, people just they all have their little lanes, right? And they'll dog this, oh, you're a vegan, you're a vegetarian, but nobody takes the time to research this stuff. Matt, I want if you don't mind, tell Jordyn about your wife. People on the podcast have heard this story again, but I'm telling you, Jordyn, you'll appreciate this. This is really cool. I actually want to get her on the show, but she keeps dogging me. Come on, Matt.
Yes,
What's up?
yes, she does. So making a long story short, we were, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, what was going on, but it was or late spring, early summer, and she had RA. I say had intentionally had RA, and so switching through meds, trying to find a med that works. Next thing you know, she's got psoriasis. Goes in the shower, pulls a handful of hair off her head that afternoon.
And
All
RA, Matt, just for everybody that doesn't know, RA,
arthritis.
yeah, and it's rheumatoid arthritis is autoimmune, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, hair's coming off, psoriasis, plaques everywhere. Went from mid-length, mid-back curls to tighter than this in an evening. And then her and her doctor talked. They like, okay, well, you know what? We've tried a lot of meds. Let's just try not eating meat. Took away meat. She went vegan for a little while. I think transitioned what I call a vegetarian, where it's vegetarian if we're not eating at home, but if we're eating at home, it's vegan. And now she's on no meds and has no issues with it, and she's actually growing her hair back out. And she's in that painful process of tight curls everywhere that are annoying. And now it's like, oh, see, I want to keep growing it, but this is really annoying. Um, but yeah, no, and she's active, doing the things she couldn't do when she was going through all that, which
Off
ended
of
up being
food,
solved all by diet.
which is amazing. And she's a beautiful woman. She is one of the few women. I've seen pictures of your wife. She's a beautiful woman, and she definitely pulled off the short hair for 100%. I'm telling you, she's just as gorgeous with the short hair. So you feel very lucky there, young man.
I am very lucky. She's put up
Yes.
with my bullshit for 10, 11 years.
Uh, no, but it just goes to show, like, not everybody knows. I mean, doctors don't even know nutrition for crying out loud. My family practitioner does not know as much about nutrition as I do myself, let alone the three of us in this on this podcast. I've had conversations with them. I'm like, wait, doc. Listen, just so you know, I'm a certified nutritionist. What you're saying is not accurate, and I hope you're not telling your other patients that. It's like, what'd you take? One class in med school? Much research have you done since then? Come on. You
Yeah, but
know,
the amount of comments again, what do you mean you're not eating meat? It's
well, once
pretty
again,
simple.
it's
You're
what
not
works
eating
for
meat.
you. My sister is mostly vegan, sometimes a little vegetarian, right? But she has occasionally had like fresh fish that was caught, very rare. She's big into yoga. She travels to India every year, studies with masters. She's a master and yoga instructor herself. She is so healthy. She does not eat meat, but she does like your wife does. She does the vegetarian or vegan diet, whatever she happens. It's always something around vegetables and tofu, but I'm just saying it's not my diet, but she does it great and she's very healthy, right? And she's very educated on what she puts in her body to make sure that she can get the most out of it for her. She doesn't dog me because I eat meat. I mean, I try to eat lean meat most of the time and eat healthy and vegetables and, lean, clean carbs. I very rarely eat sugar. I don't, it's because of what makes me feel good. It's how I feel good. So everybody's got to find that for them. That's what I'm saying. Just because it works for you, it doesn't mean it will work for me. Stay in your lane, people. Stay in it.
Well, and like how many times have we tried something and been like, this is the thing. And you do it for like 5 years. And then all of a sudden you're like, let me try something else. And then you try that. And you're like, this is the thing.
That is so accurate. I can't
So
even
accurate.
say that is so accurate. And guilty, I've done it.
Yeah.
Very
It's
guilty.
so accurate.
I did
Very
2
good.
bodybuilding shows, and I was like, you know what, bodybuilding is the thing. You just gotta eat this, eat your chicken breast, eat your pump. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm gonna switch to CrossFit. I am CrossFit.
That's funny. Then he came across Seth Feroci, and now all he wants to do is lift weights and eat steaks.
That's right.
Hey, I came
I
up with a new
realized
one today.
then I
I,
realized that cardio wasn't my thing. So now I just lift weights.
I came up with a new one today because my son and his I told you about earlier, my son and his girlfriend are up here, and my buddy came down, and we're fixing to grill some steaks, and we're gonna do the brakes. He needs to bleed the brakes on his truck. My buddy does. My son's very good with vehicles, so he's gonna do it for him. And I was like, "Yeah, you come up. We're gonna eat steaks. Yeah, I got a great idea for a T-shirt. We're gonna eat steaks and bleed brakes, baby." So. But no, man, it's good. You just people. I want you to know more than anything that there are people out there that love you, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what you're struggling with. I don't care if it's addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whether you're a thief or you think you're a bad person right now. I'm telling you, there's somebody out there that loves you. And if you can't find that person, I've said it before, you find me, hit me up. I'll talk to you. Right? I got no problem. I'll be your friend. We could chat. I'll need to learn a little bit about you before I let you in my house, but we'll talk. I'll be there. I'll be an ear for you. And I just people need to understand that. I think sometimes we get so caught up in thinking that every single person out there is against us, and they're not. Promise you they're not. There are great people on this planet. Jordyn is one of them. Matt is one of them. The amount of work that Jordyn puts out online for free that she could be charging for is a ton. I'm sure you spend hours each week putting out this free content that will make you better. Even if you think you're an expert level of personal development, you will learn things from Jordyn, I promise you. Same for Matt. Matt is going to do things for you on if you want to follow somebody and learn how to lift heavy weights, follow Matt. He lifts heavy shit. I'm telling you right now. He lifts some heavy shit. What was your last squat, Matt?
Oh, I was actually today, new record for me, 805.
805? Yeah. Lift some heavy shit for just your average Joe hitting the gym, right? That's why I call him the strongman extraordinaire.
Yeah, the power lifter
And his
extraordinary.
content's great. He picks great tunes for his lifting videos. I'm just saying, it's great to watch. No comment?
You know, I try, and most of the time, honestly, the music comes. What did I hear on the radio on the way to or from the gym, or what did somebody randomly put on?
Yeah.
Or
But no,
there's
it's good.
random time where I'll be like going from like Five Finger Death Punch to Mariah Carey. And why Mariah Carey? Because
Why
I don't know
not?
what to put. So let's just put something that's weird. Somebody can say something about.
That's right. No, I'm just telling I want to encourage you to follow these people because they'll make you better human beings. And ultimately, my goal at Work Hard Peoples is to make you a better human being, whether it be physically or mental. I do a lot of personal development coaching. Yeah, most of my bodybuilding coaching is personal development. Just trying to get you out of your freaking head for a minute. Focus on the process, and you're going to do okay. Same with weight loss, right? We got to start here. Everything starts here. Everything. And I'm telling you, Jordyn can help you in that area a lot more than me. So,
Well, even the personal development stuff, if you want more peace, if you want to master your mind, you probably need to master your food first. Because if
yeah,
you can't, say no to a fucking donut because you don't have the willpower to do that, you're not going to have the willpower to beat your own mind. There's not a chance. So if you
true.
start with nutrition, if you start with food, if you start with even just picking, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter what it is. Pick something. And if you decide it's going to work, it'll work. It'll work for you because you've decided your 90% of your progress is placebo. It's about whether you believe it's going to work or not. So if you believe that this might work for you, then pick that and go with it. And track your food, or go carnivore or go vegan or do whatever it is you need to do, but pick something that's going to take some willpower and start there. If you want to master your mind, you will not be able to do it without mastering your body first.
That's great advice. That listen, people, what is the you can quit smoking, right? You don't need smoking to live. You can quit drugs. You don't need drugs to live. You need food to live. So that is literally, I love that advice because mentally, uh, not eat when you know that I have to eat, right? Is difficult to cut that back because the body is always in. I want to get as much as I can in because it wants to store, right? The body wants to store. So that because it's preservation mode, right? That's how I'm going to live. I'm going to store this. I'm going to use it later, like a bear, right? Getting ready to hibernate. And that, when we can recognize in our brain that, listen, there is food out there, we can get a hold of it. We need to dial it back, be conservative. Like you said, pick a plan, focus on that plan, live within those limits. Doing that is probably harder than anything because you need food to live. And it's so emotional for so many people too. Emotional
Well,
eating is a thing.
it's also like people really push you. Like you said, Matt, you're not eating meat. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Just have a steak. Just have a bite of this chicken, Or like if you're like, no, I'm cutting sugar and you're at a kid's birthday party. What are the other parents telling you? Oh, just have, it's just cake. This is only this weekend. That's fine. Just do it. It's like
Yeah.
about mind your business, stay in your lane, zip it,
Absolutely.
let me do me. Yeah. It's food is one of the hardest ones because not everybody, but I would say 98% of this Western population um, uses food for uh, connecting with other people, for numbing out, for dopamine hits, for just joy, like all of
As a
these things.
coping mechanism.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%
You're
say I'm a
absolutely
stress
correct.
eater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my life grew up that way. Jordan and I talked about this last year on the podcast. I mean, we live in that society where, like my family, if I had a bad day, oh, let's go get a cheeseburger. If I had a good day, oh, let's go get a cheeseburger. Right? It's the same. It's the same fix. It's just what kind of facial expression is it? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's go get a cheeseburger. Is it, hey, let's go get a cheeseburger, right? I mean, same thing. We got to fix that, man. Well, hey, I need both of you to know I love you both dearly. I appreciate what you guys do for other people. I know that you serve in your communities and you serve in social media and online. I am, for one, truly grateful for that service that you provide. Matt, what do you got going on in the future? Got anything coming up, buddy?
Lifting wise, no. I'm thinking next meet will be in fall. Overall, I'm starting to kind of ramp up again my longer form YouTube content, and whether that's short, fun lifting things or getting back to my the podcast I used to do, the freaking weekend with the freaking Deakins, where I would talk about things that were on my mind, on my heart, and could maybe spark you to be a little better today. But we're going down that adventure, and I did buy a new computer here, so I'm trying to learn how to video edit better. So I'm, keep myself busy
Awesome. And you can find Matt. So it's like it's Matt freaking Deakins everywhere, right? So
everywhere.
like uh Instagram, YouTube, Facebook is just Matt Deakins, but
Right.
you can find his stuff. Get out there, check that out. Jordan, what do you got? You unrolling anything? Is Make Moves Motivation doing anything?
Yeah, well, we have the Make Moves Academy. It's a online platform for learning and getting out of your head. But it's not just getting out of your head. We teach people how to get out of their head, how to master their body with macros and not just macros like everybody else teaches it, but reverse dieting, rehabilitating the metabolism, teaching your body how to process food as fuel again instead of storing it, like you said,
Mhm.
getting you into that position where you can eat and your body uses it as fuel, and that's the process. And so we do that. We do business coaching, teaching people how to take all their pain, turn it into their purpose, and make a living out of it so that they can do it full time instead of just the little tidbits that they get to do while they work. And primarily, we get people out of their head, because none of that works if you don't know peace, if you don't know joy, if you don't know how to love your life. So Make Moves Academy is a learning hub where we have online courses. We have weekly live group training calls that are new material every week. We teach people how to create their ultimate reality through spiritual conceptualization, through state of being, through mastering your state of being and learning how to be ultimately the master of your life. So there's that. And if you want some free resources, we have the Limitless Life Manifestation Facebook group that you can join anytime and get access to all that free stuff James was talking about earlier.
Yeah, you put so much content, Matt. I'm telling you, you should check her out. It's good stuff. She'll definitely get you in your head and thinking about decisions that you make and how you can be a better human being. Hold on a second. Here. Um, I talked about this before, but I want to talk about it again. And I think that the three of you, or the two of you, I'm looking at the screen. I see three of us, so the three of you, including you. No, but I think the two of you will appreciate this as well. There's this book called Chase the Lion, and it's a personal development book. It's about, bettering yourself and growing yourself. But right at the beginning, like in the introduction, there is a quote, and I love it. I love it. And this book, Chase the Lion, is by Mark Batterson. He's a preacher who set up one of the I can't remember what denomination he is. I don't really care. Like, I have my own religious beliefs and I follow who I want to follow, but I think that anybody can have great material, right? Somebody can come up with something or say something that it can be meaningful. And I don't care if I believe in your necessarily religion or not. If it's a meaningful, powerful statement, I'm with it. And Mark says this. He says, set God-sized goals, pursue God-given passions, and go after a dream that is destined to fail without divine intervention. And what that says to me is reach for the stars. And that's what your Father in heaven wants you to do. Reach for the stars. Set your goals in a way that you need somebody else's help to get you there. That's how you're going to build community. That's how you're going to build strength. And that's how you're going to get out of your head. I am very grateful for everybody that watches this podcast. I hope we're helping at least just one person. I really do. That's when I started out this podcast, that was my only goal is, hey, if I can help one person, then I'm doing my job. And sometimes it's daunting. Sometimes, there's those weeks where the views maybe aren't that good, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I do it. Well, one part of the reason is selfish. I really love talking to people like you guys, and we don't live next door, so this is a great opportunity to do it. So, but I'm just telling you, there are people in this world that want to help you. Matt is one of those people. Jordyn is one of those people. I am one of those people, and there are many others that we have had on this podcast over the last year. I just want to thank everybody for that. I want to wish everybody well. Thank you so much, Jordyn, for coming on. Any last words? You
Nothing
good?
other than you are already worthy. So if you stay in your lane and you practice just doing your thing, you might actually find out that your worth isn't conditional at all.
I love that. You are already worthy. Matt, how about you, buddy?
Man, how can I follow that? I mean, ser seriously, everybody has greatness within them, and everybody has strength within them. They might not think they have it at this moment, but you know, it is there, and sometimes looking yourself in the mirror can help define that.
I love that. Both of those statements. You are already worthy. I'm telling you right now, you are. That is absolutely accurate. And we all have greatness inside. You just got to tap into it. With that, thank you, everybody. Please continue to like and subscribe. Know that we love you. You get out there and you work hard, peoples. And remember, don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.